Hello and welcome to Precon Decon, the video series where I deconstruct the pre-constructed decks of Magic the Gathering's history. This video we're going to start looking at the Battle for Zendikar block, going back to Zendikar, which is great. Zendikar, really popular set back in the day. So yeah, we're going to start off by looking at the first set in Battle for Zendikar block, which is Battle for Zendikar. Always annoying when the sets have the same name as the block. We're going to start off by looking at Rallying Cry, which is a white and red deck. Let's dive in. Let's look at the deck list. So we've got 26 creatures, 1 enchantment, 8 instants, 25 land, mana curve off to the side there. Let's dive in. I'm very excited about this because this is definitely a point in the game where I've dropped out. So a lot of these cards are very, very new to me, and I've only really seen them in the last few days. So I've still got a lot of conflicting opinions about some of them, which are probably going to be completely wrong. As people out there who have got actual experience playing these cards, I'm sure will correct me on my assessment of these. So the foil face rare is Hero of Goma Fada. 4 and a white for a 4/3. Has the rally ability. So allies are back in Zendikar. I can't do Zendikar without allies or adventurers in some way. So back in original Zendikar, well, Zendikar and Worldwide, because Rise of the Eldrazi didn't have them for some insane reason. You had allies in there, which they triggered off whenever you cast the ally spell, or like when another ally entered the battlefield, you got an effect. So normally just be like +1/+1 counters or giving out a keyword, that kind of thing. And the effect would get bigger depending how many allies you got. Here it's just kind of like a limited kind of like ETB trigger. That triggers basically whenever you cast the ally creature or when you cast another ally creature. So it's spiritually still the same, but the effects have kind of I know they've been maybe toned down a little in some places and made better in others. So yeah, it's basically the same. It's allies. You have allies. You want to play more allies that make your allies better. Everyone's allies. So Hero of Goma Fada, 4 and a white for a 4/3. It has Rally. Whenever Hero of Goma Fada or another ally enters the battlefield under your control, creatures you control get indestructible end turn. That's just a super good ability, just board wide indestructibility for all your creatures, not just all your ally creatures. I mean, pretty much all the creatures in the deck are allies. But yeah, just board wide indestructible every time you cast an ally, or an ally enters the battlefield is just super good. That's just a very good ability. It means that you can attack without any kind of risk. Just super good if you can get an ally out at instant speed, which I'm not sure if there's a way of doing that in this deck. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, that would be obviously a good trick as well. Anyway. Yeah, so I think that's a really good foil face rare to have. So the other rare is Angelic Captain. So 3 red and white for a 4/3 flyer. Whenever it attacks, gets +1/+1 till end of turn for each other attacking ally. So just being a 4/3 flyer, I think is it's fine. But obviously this has a potentially really high ceiling. Can scale up. If you're attacking with a bunch of allies, which you will, because you're playing red white aggro and you're playing allies, you're going to go wide. You've got a load of creatures. So yeah, this can jump up to pretty scary size. I think can be a really big threat in the air. So yeah, these are 2 really good rares. I think really embody what the deck's going for, which is is going wide with a bunch of allies. And then we have a Resolute Blade Master, 3 red and white for a 2/2. Has Rally whenever it or another ally enters the battlefield under your control. All your creatures get double strike on turn, which is super good. If you're giving them indestructible as well. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of these cards in this deck which are just your whole board gets a keyword. Giving your whole board double strike is incredibly strong. Even if you just I suppose the Hero Goma Fada, even you just cast this at sorcery speed before combat, that's 5 mana to give your whole board double strike, which is that's not nothing. So yeah, really, really good. A shame there's only one of them in the deck, but yeah, really, really good effect. And then we got a bunch of kind of I guess less flashy allies. So 2 core Blade Wells, 1 and white for a 2/2. Has Rally. Whenever it or another ally enters the battlefield under control, all your creatures get first strike to 10. This is a really good 2-drop. Yeah, again, just giving your whole board first strike just for an ally coming in is super good. Again, can really just tip combat. Giving your whole board first strike can just make it so difficult for your opponent to deal with if you're just attacking everything. Yeah, really good. 2 core Entanglers, 4 and a white for a 3/4. Rally, you tap a creature and opponent controls. This is good. Gets blockers out of the way. So you've got your indestructible double striking allies can get through and do even more damage. So yeah, this is a really solid effect. Two McKindy Patrol, 2 and a white for a 2/3. Rally, creatures you control get vigilance until end of turn. So yeah, say this deck is just all about just keywords. Just give out a bunch of keywords, make your stuff super efficient and buffed up, and yeah, just keep swinging, be super aggressive. Yeah, it's just really good, isn't it? A single Chasm Guide, 3 and a red for 3/2. Rally gives all your creatures haste until end turn. This is nice, especially if you maybe like cast more than one turn. The stuff you've cast is going to get the benefit from its own rally ability, so that's great. Two Fire Mantle Mage, 2 and a red for a 2/2. Rally, all your creatures get menace until end turn. So not only can you give them vigilance and double strike and indestructible, but you can make them harder to block as well with menace. So that's something, isn't it? And then a single Ondu Champion, 2 and double red for a 4/3, which like even just on its own is like like at the point in the game where like that's just really solid now for red. And Rally, all your creatures get trampled till end of turn. So yeah, like the dream here is like, I mean, obviously the weakness of the allies is you have to. It's not like slivers. You have to keep casting allies to keep getting these benefits. But like you've got so many allies in the deck, you're gonna, I think, quite regularly getting these benefits. So again, you know, the absolute magical Christmas land scenario is they've all got indestructible, they've all got double strike, they've all got trample, they've all got vigilance and menace, and it's just yeah, you just have a great time and go full, you know, all out with your army of allies. Yeah, super good. I think this would be a super fun deck to play. A single Angel of Renewal, 5 and a white. So we're done with the rally creatures now. Angel of Renewal, 5 and a white for a 4/4 flyer, which is just solid anyway. When it ends the battlefield, you gain 1 life for each creature you control. Oh, if only we were playing red white and going wide with a bunch of creatures. So yeah, this is yeah, it's doing a lot, isn't it? Just a big flyer that also gains you a bunch of life, which is obviously very solid. We've got 3 Cliffside Lookouts, 1 white mana for a 1/1. You can spend 4 and a white to give all your creatures +1/+1 till end turn. I don't think they'll need it. I feel like this is a bit surplus to requirements, but it's always, you know, it's always nice to have like a mana sink like this, just a board wide boost. Note all these are allies as well, so they're going to trigger the rally abilities even though they don't have rally themselves. And then 2 Expedition Envoy, just 1 white mana just for a 2/1, like the most straightforward ally you could have. It's just a, you know, aggressively costed attacker. So yeah, pretty good. 2 core castigators, 1 and a white for a 3/1. It can't be blocked by Eldrazi Scions, and so yeah, we're going to see a lot of Eldrazi Scions in some of the decks coming up. But yeah, this is just, you know, it's a very niche ability. Like without this, it's fine because it's just a 3/1 for 2 that triggers rally abilities. And this is going to make it, you know, it can't be blocked by, you know, certain token creatures. Which say if you were playing these decks against each other, it might come up, you know. But really, it's really just a 3/1 for 2, which is, you know, fine. 3 Reckless Cohort, 1 and a red for a 2/2. Has to attack each combat if able, unless you control another ally. I love. This might be my favorite card in the deck, just because I love the storytelling in it, like the flavor text and like how the, you know, the flavor text, you know, goes with the, you know, goes with the effect, because, you know, like, oh, he's on a suicide mission, but like unless he has another friend to like, you know, hold him back. I just love it. I think this is a super fun card. Like, I mean, at the end, it's just a 2/2 for 2, right? With technically a drawback, because we're still not at the point where red can just have a 2/2 for 2, you know, with just no downside. But yeah, I love this card. It's just so good. I love the flavor of it. And then 2 Shatterskull recruits, 3 and double red just for a 4/4 with menace, just very solid big attacker, which is, you know, hard to block. Yeah, and is obviously going to get a lot of benefit from all your rally abilities. Yeah, that's just really good. And then non-creature spells, there's not many in the deck, but yeah, there are a few. Mostly buffs. So a single Angelic Gift, 1 and a white. When it enters the battlefield, you draw a card, which is really good, like an aura that replaces itself. You know, it is a very small effect. It is giving evasion. It's one of the few keyword abilities you don't get in this deck. But yeah, this is just a really nice, just cheap aura. Yeah, just put on, you know, one of your bigger creatures that's going to get all the rally abilities, and yeah, just go to town. Really like this actually. 2 Inspired Charges, as if you need more board-wide buffs. 2 and double white instant creature you control get +2/+1 till end turn. Yep, just makes your horde of keyworded up allies even better. So yeah, this is really solid in here. Two Lithomancer's Focus, one and a white, just one, not one and a white, just one white. Target creature gets +2/+2 turn, and prevent all damage that will be dealt to that creature this turn by colourless sources, which is going to be some cards which we're going to be looking at in the next few videos. Hint, hint. But yeah, this is fine. It's just yeah, like one mana just for +2/+2 is absolutely bog standard. But this extra ability is again only matters against certain decks, but I say if you're playing these decks against each other, this would probably be more useful than you think it would be. And then we've got two Smite the Monstrous, 3 and a white. You destroy type creature with power 4 or greater. Yep, standard kind of like white kill spell, kill a big creature, of which there are a lot in this block because the Eldrazi are a thing. So yeah, having a way of killing them off is obviously pretty good. And then two outnumbers, 1 red mana. It does damage to target creature equal to the number of creatures you control. So this has an enormously high ceiling. Yes, it can only hit creatures, but it's 1 red mana, and this, if this is doing, I'd say more than like 2 damage, like it's good, right? Because I'm trying to think what the benchmark would be. Because I always go to Flame Slash, but that's sorcery speed, and that's 1 red mana for 4 damage. But I say it's sorcery speed. This is at instant speed. In a deck where you're going wide, yeah, I think this has an enormously high ceiling, and yeah, I think you'd be getting a lot of kills with this. Really good little burn spell there. And then moving on to lands, so we got a single Blighted Gorge. I think pretty much all the decks have one of these blighted lands in there. So they give you colorless mana, and then they have an ability that requires colored mana. So Blighted Gorge is 4 and a red tap. You sacrifice it, and it does 2 damage to target creature or player. Yep. So it just does like a colorless shock, which is fine, good for like finishing off maybe a small creature or like just sneaking an extra 2 damage. I think that's fine. 2 Evolving Wilds, got 2 of those just to sack it and look for a basic land card, which is great. And then 2 Sandstone Bridge, enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, type creature gets +1/+1, gains vigilance until turn, and tap to add white. So yeah, these are like the old like spell effect lands that used to be in original Zendikar and World Wake, like the what was it, Teetering Peaks and Soaring Sea Cliff, like stuff like that. So I really like these kind of like little spell effects tacked onto a land that's coming to play tapped. Really, really good. And then 10 plains and 10 mountains. Can't guarantee that you would have got like lovely full art lands like this in the deck in the box itself, but like I couldn't pass up a chance not to like use these lovely full art Zendikar lands. I really hope it came with full art lands. If you ever got any of these Battle for Zendikar decks, like let me know if it came with like full art lands, because it'd be such a shame if it didn't. So let's talk about what could have been. On the whole, I think the deck is really, really solid, actually. There's not much in it that I think is actually that bad. So what is here is kind of I don't think it's needed, honestly. But let's talk about it. So alternate rares. So Lantern Scout is basically like the last remaining kind of keyword ally. So 2 and a white for a 3/2. Rally. All your creatures get lifelink turn 10. I think this would have actually pushed it into being too good, because not only is your stuff indestructible, first striking, vigilant, trampling, menace, but also you're going to like gain a bunch of life as well and just completely outpace your opponent. Yeah, really, really solid. But yeah, I mean, obviously you could include it if it was in one of your booster packs. And then there's Munda, the ambush leader, 2 a red and a white for a 3/4 with haste. Has rally. You can look at the top 4 cards of your library, reveal any number of ally cards from amongst them, put them on top of your library in any order, and the rest on bottom in any order. So he doesn't draw them, but he does set you up to draw them in your upcoming turn. So yeah, he would have been pretty good, and he's just 3/4 haste anyway, which is pretty good. And Retreat to Emeria, this would have, I think, been pretty cool. So 3 and a white's enchantment. Has landfall, so landfall is back in the set because you can't do Zendikar without doing landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you choose one. You either make a core ally creature token, so trigger all your rally abilities, or you give all your creatures +1/+1 to end turn. So this is like again really like solid enchantment. Like both those effects are really good. Most of the time you'd get more mileage out of making the ally token and getting all the rally effects. But just turning playing a land into a board-wide buff is obviously really strong as well. So yeah, I think this is like a really, really fun deck. I would love to play this one, like red white aggro, which like done really well. I think is fantastic, and I like allies. I think they're really fun creature type. So yeah, this is I think a really great start to looking at Battle for Zendikar. yeah. So really, really, really excited. I say a lot of these cards I never really experienced firsthand. I would have loved to have played these and see how they worked out. I mean, it probably never worked out that way. Like you never had Magical Christmas Land where all your ally abilities went off. But if you did play this deck, let me know how it went in the comments below. And if you've got any other kind of thoughts or comments or stories or opinions about the deck or any of the cards in it, stick them below. Give those a read. But yeah, I'll be back next time to look at another Battle for Zendikar intro pack. But until then, thanks for watching and listening. Have a great day.